Coco Chanel, born Gabrielle Bonheur Chanel on August 19, 1883, in Saumur, France. Coco Chanel was born into poverty, and after her mother's death, she was sent to an orphanage where she learned to sew. She later worked as a seamstress and a singer in cafes. Her early years were anything but glamorous. Chanel was raised by nuns who taught her how to sew, a skill that would lead to her life's work. Her nickname came from another occupation entirely. During her brief career as a singer, Chanel performed in clubs in Vichy and Moulins where she was called Coco. Around the age of 20, Chanel became involved with Etienne Balsan, who offered to help her start a millinery business in Paris. She soon left him for one of his wealthier friends, Arthur "Boy" Capel. Both men were instrumental in Chanel's first fashion venture. In 1910, Coco Chanel opens her first store at 21 Rue Cambon in Paris, aged 27. Initially a hat store known as Chanel Modes, it quickly grew a clientele of glamorous European actresses who admired and imitated the simple, elegant style of its proprietor. She later added stores in Deauville and Biarritz and began making clothes. Her first taste of clothing success came from a dress she fashioned out of an old jersey on a chilly day. In response to the many people who asked about where she got the dress, she offered to make one for them. "My fortune is built on that old jersey that I'd put on because it was cold in Deauville," she once told author Paul Morand. Chanel became a popular figure in Parisian literary and artistic worlds. She designed costumes for the ballets Russes and Jean Cocteau's play Orphan, and counted Cocteau and artist Pablo Picasso among her friends. In 1913, Chanel chose Deauville, a seaside resort in Normandy, as the location for her second boutique and expands her range to include a collection of jersey, sportswear. Offering women a new way to present and celebrate their bodies, they are an instant hit, growing Chanel's fame across the country. The first Chanel couture boutique opens in Biarritz in 1915. The famed Chanel store at 31 Rue Cambon opens. It remains the brand's HQ to this day. Chanel is credited with popularizing the little black dress, which became a timeless and essential item in women's wardrobes. Her designs were known for their simplicity, comfort, and use of jersey fabric. In the 1920s, Chanel took her thriving business to new heights. She launched her first perfume, Chanel No. 5, which was the first to feature a designer's name. The iconic Chanel No. 5 fragrance, created for the house by Russian perfumer Ernest Beau and named both because it was the fifth scent presented to Coco Chanel and for her superstitious belief in the number being lucky, is released. The house's first fragrance was an instant hit, reigning supreme for decades and gaining famous fans including Marilyn Monroe. Chanel No. 5, which became one of the most iconic and best-selling perfumes in the world. The fragrance was in fact also backed by department store owner Théophile Barda and businessmen Pierre and Paul Wertheimer, with Chanel developing a close friendship with Pierre. A deal was ultimately negotiated where the Wertheimer business would take in 70% of Chanel No. 5 profits for producing the perfume at their factories, with Barda receiving 20% and Chanel herself only receiving 10%. Over the years, with No. 5 being a massive source of revenue, she repeatedly sued to have the terms of the deal renegotiated. Building on the success of Chanel No. 5, the lively, floral and delicate No. 22 fragrance is introduced. Chanel's first cosmetics line launched comprising of face powders and lip colors, while the Société des Parfums Chanel is founded to capitalize on the brand's growing beauty and fragrance business. 1924 is also the year in which Coco Chanel introduces her signature tweed suits after discovering the fabric during frequent trips to Scotland with the Duke of Westminster. A traditionally masculine fabric, her feminine take offers a new uniform for modern women. In 1925, Chanel introduced the now legendary Chanel suit with collarless jacket and well-fitted skirt. Her designs were revolutionary for the time, borrowing elements of men's wear and emphasizing comfort over the constraints of then popular fashions. She helped women say goodbye to the days of corsets and other confining garments. Another 1920s revolutionary design was Chanel's little black dress. She took a color once associated with mourning and showed just how chic it could be for evening wear. Chanel's signature suit, consisting of a collarless jacket and a knee-length skirt, revolutionized women's fashion. It represented a departure from the restrictive and elaborate clothing of the time. Before we continue our story, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Don't forget also to turn on the notification bell to be updated in our every uploads. Chanel was also influential in the world of jewelry, introducing the use of costume jewelry and faux pearls. The interlocking CC logo became synonymous with luxury and style. Chanel's personal style, characterized by her penchant for menswear-inspired clothing, bobbed hair, and her trademark pearls, contributed to her iconic image. In 1927, the brand's first skincare line launches, offering 15 products aimed at helping women gain the perfect complexion. The international economic depression of the 1930s had a negative impact on Chanel's company, but it was the outbreak of World War II that led her to close her business. She fired her workers and shut down her shops. After the war, Chanel left Paris, spending some years in Switzerland in a sort of exile. She also lived at her country house in Roquebrune for a time. Her association with a German officer during the occupation led to controversies after the war. At the age of 70, in the early 1950s, Chanel made a triumphant return to the fashion world. She first received scathing reviews from critics, but her feminine and easy-fitting designs soon won over shoppers around the world. Beginning in 1920, Chanel had a short-lived relationship with composer Igor Stravinsky. Chanel had attended the notorious world premiere of Stravinsky's Rite of Spring in 1913. Around 1923, she met the wealthy Hugh Grosvenor, Duke of Westminster, aboard his yacht. The two started a decades-long relationship. In response to his marriage proposal, which she turned down, she reportedly said, "There have been several Duchesses of Westminster, but there is only one Chanel." During the German occupation of France, Chanel got involved with a Nazi military officer, Hans Gunther von Dinklage. She got special permission to stay in her apartment at the Hotel Ritz in Paris, which also operated as German military headquarters. After the war ended, Chanel was interrogated about her relationship with von Dinklage, but she was not charged as a collaborator. Some have wondered whether friend Winston Churchill worked behind the scenes on Chanel's behalf. While not officially charged, Chanel suffered in the court of public opinion. Some still viewed her relationship with a Nazi officer as a betrayal of her country. In 1955, having relaunched her couture house the year before, with updated, original designs that belie her septuagenarian status, Coco Chanel introduces the iconic 2.55 bag. Its quilted leather design and gold chain become instant bywords for the Chanel style and are regularly referenced in the house's modern collections. This year also sees the debut of the first and only men's fragrance to be created during Coco Chanel's lifetime. Blended by Henry Robert, Pour Monsieur is a woody, citrus scent praised for its refinement. Another iconic Chanel piece, the two-tone shoe, makes its way to boutiques. Originally conceived as a beige leather slingback with black toe cap, it has a uniquely flattering way of shortening the foot and lengthening the leg. Cue immediate imitators. In 1963, Chanel finds itself unintentionally wrapped up in a world-changing moment when Jackie Kennedy wears a pink Chanel suit on the day of President John F. Kennedy's assassination. Coco Chanel passed away on January 10, 1971 at the age of 87. Her brand, Chanel, continues to be a global powerhouse, and her influence on fashion is enduring. Despite its international fame, until 1978 Chanel remained a couture house in the classic mode. The introduction of ready-to-wear this year saw the house's collection and accessories exported globally for the first time, much to the joy of fans. In 1983, Karl Lagerfeld is announced as the new artistic director of Chanel, with responsibility for designing all haute couture, ready-to-wear and accessory collections. Already known for his groundbreaking work at Fendi, a position he retains when joining Chanel, Lagerfeld injects his unique spirit into the brand, which had been floundering under a lack of direction after the death of Coco. He quickly sets about revamping ready-to-wear and turned the interlocking CC monograph into a house icon. With accessories becoming an increasingly lucrative part of Chanel's business, the brand introduces its first line of watches in the premiere. Designed by Jacques Helléu, its rectangular dial is inspired by both the stopper of the No. 5 fragrance bottle and the shape of the Place Vendôme. The new millennium sees Chanel become a guardian of classic Parisian craftsmanship as it acquires 8 specialty firms renowned for their quality and perfection. Chanel's association with art continues with a traveling exhibition designed by Zaha Hadid. Featuring artworks inspired by the house's quilted handbag, the exhibition stops in Hong Kong, New York City and Tokyo before being donated to the Arab World Institute in Paris. Fashion designer Coco Chanel is famous for her timeless designs, trademark suits and little black dresses. In the 1920s, she launched her first perfume and eventually introduced the Chanel suit and the little black dress, with an emphasis on making clothes that were more comfortable for women. She herself became a much-revered style icon known for her simple yet sophisticated outfits paired with great accessories, such as several strands of pearls. She is renowned for her revolutionary contributions to women's fashion in the 20th century. Coco Chanel was a pioneering French fashion designer and businesswoman. Coco Chanel's legacy extends beyond her designs, as she played a crucial role in liberating women from the constraints of traditional fashion, promoting comfort, and redefining notions of femininity. The company is known for its timeless elegance, classic designs, and commitment to quality. And that's the wrap of our story for today. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel, and also please press the notification bell to be updated in our every uploads.